sports analysis,
entertainment reviews,
and everything in between.
Yo, what's that word? Third 12 Innings podcast. It's been a while since we got on, but wanted to add a few things for y'all to spice up a couple different segments and just come back with new energy. Is always good to get a break, especially with the sports season so active. Speaking of segments, one of the first ones we're going to start off with today is a new one, the Reddit warm-up. I'm going to read off this post on Reddit. We're going to chop it up about it. Y'all give y'all thoughts in the comments below. And y'all bear with me. So I just clicked on and opened up the app. So this one is from, I guess, the marriage subreddit, and it's titled, "My Wife Cheated on Me and I'm Lost." Damn. It say, I, 36 male, got cheated on by my wife, 34 female. It happened about a year ago, and I'm working to forgive her so we can move forward as a family. Since it happened, we have had no intimacy in our relationship. I have been really struggling with depression. Even though I am trying to keep it together for the kids, I don't know if I can keep living like this. I have had a feeling for the last couple months that she has been cheating again, but I cannot prove anything, and she denies it anytime I bring it up to her. But I have no trust in her, and every time I bring up my lack of trust, she gets defensive and starts an argument with me. It has taken a toll on my mental health, and I have been looking for reasons to not go home. Am I blowing this out of proportion? Should I forgive and forget, or just move on?
What Unc say from Friday After Next? Kick the old country out to the curb.
Yeah, that's wild, man. It's beyond insane. And I mean, like you said, like he said himself personally, like you can't live like that. Like that old saying that's supposed to be saying "happy wife, happy life." That shit's fake. It's everybody got to be happy. If you ain't subjecting yourself to that is just suffering, bro.
Nah, for sure. That boy, go ahead.
I just feel like as a person that's put people in that position, but also I've been in that type of position before, at least, not with the kids though. It's like I kind of feel for bruh, because it's like as a man, your mental health don't get talked about enough. And he's saying for the kids to try to suck it up and try to make it work, which I also understand, because as a man, you want to be there around your kids and raising your kids. But it's also like, damn, bruh, like, I feel where you're coming from when you say, I can't trust her. Like, because it's like you already suspect that she cheating again, that she doing you dirty. And it's a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? Just thinking about this, your wife. Your wife beat to the ceiling. Like, that's a different type of, like, pain right there for, like, you living under the same roof and you can't trust when you come home or when she come home that, you know what I'm saying, that another dude didn't smash like that day, you know what I'm saying? And that's a tough pill to swallow, man. On all of this, what gets lost is the kid. Because it's like, if you're there for your kids and stuff like that, and you choosing to walk away, it's like, kids gonna feel that. Kids gonna feel that for sure. But it's also yourself as well, because as a person that's never been married, wants to be married one day, I couldn't even fathom like me making like that type of commitment to you officially, and then we making that commitment to each other, and then like that being broken to that extent, that betrayal. I can see if it's before marriage where it's like, shit happens, it's still kind of messed up. But it's like when you married, that's a totally different ball game, in my opinion. That's where my the news type situation. But yeah.
Definitely.
Insane.
Like I don't know. I go by like once you cheat, whether it be you're married, whether you're in a relationship, and that once that trust is gone, that trust is gone. And obviously he's feeling the side effects of that, like you said. He's not. They're not really intimate anymore.
Yeah.
Then they come to accusations, whether they're true or not, we don't know. Then just the depression, because the one thing that can get you the most is your thoughts. And I can already tell by his thoughts, some of the stuff that's probably going through his head. So yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I was him, bro, I don't know, bro. I might have been in jail 25 to life.
See, in some of those situations, you gotta learn, you gotta separate yourself, so you're not in jail for 25 to life. Because at the end of the day, you still gotta provide for your children. You still gotta, find some kind of way to still, have that. But I never let, what I'm saying, your emotions, like you say, it's eating him alive. He's trying to be the bigger man about it, but you can't let your emotions eat at you away so much to where it pushes you over the edge. And now you stalking this woman, or what I'm saying, you putting a bug in her car, you following her around, and then one day you don't know what might happen. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to get to that point, to that extent. You shouldn't be at that point, no matter what. Like, life is that short. We got the day we was born, that little dash in the middle, and then that day when we kicked that bucket. And that's how long life is, that little dash in between. You better be happy, man. No matter like what it is, what you got going on, God first, and your happiness. That suffering you putting yourself through, like following those accusations. Hey, separate yourself from that, brother.
That's real. Ain't too much to say to that. I might have to pull out the notepad. You said bug in the car and follow him.
Nah.
But
I don't know though.
hey,
I know that he's trying to stay together for his kids, but at the end of the day, his happiness matters too.
Yeah.
And the best thing he can do for his kids is be clear-minded, happy, and all that stuff. So, I mean,
Facts.
if calling it quits is going to give him that ease of mind to where he can parent better, he feels better in life, all that stuff, by all means, you know, his kids going to know who their dad is regardless. If you want to be in your kid's life, you're going to make the effort to be in your kid's life.
I'm not the biggest advocate for people breaking up. I understand people make mistakes and stuff like that. People have had to forgive me before. And I can say that as a person who has asked for forgiveness. I would just say, if you're watching this, let me put out your thing. It was from you/sorry elephant 1528. That was one day ago on a marriage Reddit subreddit. I would just seek counseling, bro. Really do the things that your therapist is telling you to do. Don't just, I ain't gonna say don't just, because it's good having somebody that's an unbiased voice that you can just get all of your stuff out there too. That's extremely helpful. But also with the instruction they give you, take heed in that and actually work on the things they ask you to work on, because you might just come to the conclusion trying to make it work that it's not gonna work, folks. Sometimes, unfortunately, things don't work out. You know what I'm saying? And maybe going forward, you're looking at it like that was a chapter in my life. You could work on beginning the next chapter in your life, folks. Um, so yeah, man. Honestly, I feel bad for you. Like, but
1,000.
but that was our our Reddit warm up. Moving on to our sports related topic, 12 inning podcast. The first one I wanted to chop up about, let's go in order from the NFL rookie ladders. Some excited rookies in this league this year. We're going to do three of ours going on a roundtable format per usual. Let's start off with Byron, who's the first person on your rookie ladder.
First person on my rookie ladder, I'm going to start it off with, the quota. Jaden Daniels, quarterback. My preseason pick for rookie of the year, looking like it's going to, come to fruition so far. Um, 897 yards, sorry, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick, a wonderful QBR. In his last 4 games that he's played, he's only punted the ball 4 times, which is insane. So he's doing his job, completing passes, rushing when he needs to, and building up, developing his game to catch up to the NFL game, taking it step by step, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing to see down there in the Commanders, and hopefully he continues to elevate his career.
I think he's leading the league in completion percentage over there, ain't he?
Mm-hmm.
Might be.
So far, I am wrong. I'll give him that. So far, I am wrong, but for sure. Who you got, Khalil?
I got Jaden Daniels as well. There's just something about kid, bro. Like I've watched pretty much most of his games since he's coming to the league. I've never seen him not smiling. It's just I guess it's kind of like an aura that he's bringing around the team. Because I didn't really have high expectations for the Commanders this year. And just what he's doing with them. Byron gave off like his passing stats. He scored. Let me see how many touchdowns he scored on the ground. What is it? He has 4 rushing touchdowns through 4 weeks. He's keeping his offense on the field, marching down the field, keeping drives alive as he can. He's been pretty accurate throwing the ball, and he's not afraid to take that chance. Also, he's been pretty good with the turnovers, especially rushing the ball, getting down. That's the only thing I would say is just his fragile body frame, but it doesn't seem to be a problem right now. He's definitely, I'm pretty sure in everybody's eyes, leading the Rookie of the Year voting right now. And I can honestly see him taking his team to the playoffs year one. Is given kind of RG3 vibes. And hey, I'm for it.
I respect it.
Yeah. And I want to be on the record. I thought of him as being the Rookie of the Year, but I ain't think of the Commanders being at where they're at right now. They got a wonderful record, and hey, shout out to C for taking that leap of putting them boys in possible playoff contention.
Oh shit! The way the NFC East looking.
Facts, not facts. That is big facts.
Yeah, I think that's going to come alive more, at least from my end, in our contenders and pretenders section.
And pretenders,
particularly
yeah,
for that division. In mine, of course, I would go with Jaden Daniels too, and I thought that one of us would. So I went with my first one was Marvin Harrison Jr. 15 receptions, 243 yards, 4 touchdowns, which leads the league. Also is tied with Jamar Chase for first down receptions. Been the number 1 receiver since he stepped on the field for the Arizona Cardinals. They haven't played. They've been the Cardinals, but they've been in every game this year. Even with their record being at 1-3, I think they've been more impressive than in years past. And I think as that chemistry continues to grow with him and Kyler Murray, that partnership is just going to flourish there. Of course, there's there's definitely another receiver, rookie, that should go ahead of him. But I also thought he would be out there, and I would get what corner that could come from. So I want to give him grace to talk about it. But I have Marvin Harrison Jr. On my rookie ladder.
Yeah, facts. With my second guy on the rookie ladder, it's crazy that I'm doing this, but shout out to him looking up these stats, man. Andrew Phillips, Khalil's guy up there in New York, the Giants.
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful corner. 12 total tackles. He's been targeted at 9 times, and he's only allowed 7 receptions. And in those 7 receptions from the line of his, I think about 29 snaps, he's only allowed about 28 yards. So, I mean, he's been a wonderful, wonderful corner. His overall so far is an 80 grade of within these about 4 or 5 games. So as long as he keeps it up and kind of push their defense a little bit better, hey, the Giants might have a little star on the defensive end.
I got the Giants star on the offensive end. I'm a Giants fan, you know I'm not leaving them off the list. I got Malik Nabers leading the league in receptions at 35, second in receiving yards at 382, tied for third with 3 touchdowns. And he averages 11 yards per catch, which is top 10 in the league. Or no, it's 105th, but he averages 11 yards per catch. And just what he brings to that offense, this is something I haven't seen in a while. So, you know, I'm excited about it, especially when you can make Daniel Jones look good. There's something about you. I just hope he comes back from this concussion protocol as fast as he can. You know, I don't expect the Giants to win too many games this year. So with him being on the Giants is the most excitement I'm going to have for the year. And I enjoy watching him play. You could tell he has that dog in him. Really good route runner, good at creating separation. Good good hands when he gets to the high point of his jump. He's had a few drops, but then again, I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but Malik Nabers.
He reminds me of and I want y'all to tell me what y'all think on this. I don't know, it just popped up in my head. He reminds me of a better Debo Samuels. That big stocky frame, faster, better hands, and a little bit better route runner at this point since he's a rookie on so far.
I think he's already better than Debo. I just
He's
think
giving
that
more Jamar
No,
Chase.
I said better Debo Samuels.
no, no, I feel what you're saying, but I'm saying like I understand where you're coming from with Debo, but I think as far as like he's far superior as a route runner. Like if we're giving comparisons, Debo is a nice one. Chalil said Jamar Chase. I like slightly more explosive Jarvis Landry back in the day. But we're
Well, let
comparing
me
to
specify a little more of the physicality. That's what I kind of wanted to get at, the more physicality of it.
He has, yeah. I know he has a lot of big play opportunity.
Yeah.
Anytime the ball goes his way, you know there's a chance that he's gonna catch it, regardless of the situation. And just the yards after catch and all that stuff, everything just adds up. And I think the Giants got a draft pick right for the first time in a couple years, or a top draft pick right, I should say.
we're speaking on New York wide receivers. He also reminds me of Victor Cruz from back in the day as well.
Good.
Yeah.
Sauce.
Sure.
Yeah.
Next on my rookie ladder was my Florida State guy, Jared Verse. 17 total pressures, which leads all rookies. Is top 20 in the NFL. 19 total sacks, 19 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, and he only has 1 sack on the year, but he's missed a couple there. That kind of showed up in college as well. He can get to the quarterback, get to the offensive playmakers, but sometimes he has problems with missing tackles. But he's going to get there, and typically I think as he matures in his game, he's going to start making more of those plays, TFLs, and for sure getting the ball carrier on the ground going forward. But so far, I think that my prediction that he should have been a top 10 selection in the NFL draft has come true. He started all the games for the Rams. Braden Fisk is getting a lot of PT. It was another consideration for me on this rookie ladder. But I love what I've seen with Jared Verse over Latu, who is coming on for the Colts, and over Dallas Turner, who's on the ascending super hot fire Vikings team. But I think Jared Verse has performed the best out of the defensive team, out of the defensive players, especially in that first round on this rookie ladder.
Okay, my fault. My next guy here, you get the big boy some love, man. Joe Alt down there in the Chargers. He's playing wonderful offensive tackle. He's played 175 snaps, only 1 penalty, and he's only allowed 2 sacks in his short career. But just the context for this, I mean, he's been against Max Crosby, TJ Watt. I mean JJ Watt. My fault. I love TJ too. JJ Watt and that Chiefs defensive line, and just to hold up against those elite defensive linemen. Your first few games in the NFL, these are literally your first games touching the field in the NFL and playing against the best talent and holding up the way you did, only allowing 2 sacks. Hey, shout out to you, big boy. Keep holding up.
Yeah, that's elite competition. But you actually overcorrect yourself because it was TJ Watt. I don't think JJ around no more.
Oh,
I just
my
seen that
fault.
on
JJ,
Twitter.
yeah, my fault. Yeah, backwards.
Bro, chilling.
I seen that boy in the beer commercial the other day.
Uh-huh. But that's awesome. And he's playing a new position too. At Notre
Yeah,
Dame, he's playing left tackle. In the league, he's playing right tackle because they
right.
got Slater over there. But Jim Harbaugh knows what he's seeing when it comes to the trenches in general. In the
Facts.
front seven, he's just a great, awesome coach. He's putting his players in good positions. But
Yeah,
for sure, I like that pick of Joe. Oh, I would probably have him number 2, number 3 behind Daniels and Neighbors, honestly.
feel that.
My third one, like you guys said before, just to kind of veer away from everything and give my opinion, I have Ladd McConkey, wide receiver for the Chargers. He's gotten 16 targets. Out of those 16 targets, he's caught 15 receptions. For almost 200 yards, he scored 2 touchdowns, averaging over a first down a catch. For a depleted wide receiver core that the Chargers have, I feel like he's easily slotting himself in to be that number 1 option for Justin Herbert. So I do see this production increasing. And just watching him, the 1 touchdown he had against the Chiefs, that was probably one of the best tiptoe catches that I've seen in a while. Him falling out of bounds, still able to catch the ball at that angle. But yeah, Ladd McConkey, I think there's big things to come out of him.
Elite route runner. For my final rookie, I had Quinyon Mitchell. Held Mike Evans to 2 receptions for 19 yards. We all know I feel like Mike Evans is an elite receiver in the NFL still.
Yeah.
He going off right now. He got 2 tutties.
Yeah. Should have put some money on that boy. But Quinyon Mitchell is top 5 also in pass breakups in the NFL amongst all corners and DBs. So I think he has a strong rookie season. I think he was the first DB taken off the board. Yeah, I'm a ride with that. I think it was either Hiram or Terrion. I think he was the first DB off the board in the draft. He's showing it in that Eagles secondary. They look shaky in other areas, which I'll get to later on. But so far, Quinyon Mitchell has been as advertised in the Eagles secondary. Before we go to the next segment, I just want to chop it up about this real quick because I don't think we should let it pass. We didn't have one on our sheet, but how y'all feel about where do y'all think that Davante Adams gonna go?
Go Khalil.
I guess you can go first, Khalil.
Oh man. Sheesh. I like the Ravens to make a push and get him. I know they have Zay Flowers as their top receiver right now. I think Davante Adams comes in, be able to open up so much more for the Ravens passing game, especially involving Zay Flowers, getting him those opportunities to go one-on-one. Like you said, it's already a hassle trying to stop the Ravens run game. You get Davante Adams with an accurate quarterback like Lamar running out of the pocket. That run pass option, I feel like, is going to be lethal. Davante Adams, one of the best route runners in the league. He hasn't had a quarterback that could put the ball on him in a while. So I feel like the Ravens could be one of those top fits for him.
What you think, Byron?
My only pushback on that is I don't think any receivers would want to go to Baltimore, knowing that Lamar is the quarterback there. Like, wonderful, wonderful quarterback, but you you know the game that they're gonna run down there in Baltimore. It's the run game, and we want to be air raid. If you're a receiver, you know you want to be able to get at least 7 to 8 minimum touches. Like we ain't trying to do the run game. But if they get the money, hey, they could possibly make it happen. Getting rid of some guys. My journalist pick for the best place for him would be the Saints. To go pair with Chris Olave. Obviously, you get back with your main guy and Derek Carr. You already have that rapport. Fresno State, a couple years down in the Raiders, and then you go to the Saints. They have the money to make it happen. They have the draft capital. They're only asking for a second rounder, and some compensation on top of that. They can make it happen, and that would push them over the edge. Obviously, with the resurgence of Alvin Kamara, being dominant in the run game, their offensive line showing like no other. I don't think anybody expected them to be that good, but they're holding up really great. And then you can give Derek Carr his weapon back to open up even more for Chris Olave. They have another guy down there.
Shaheed.
Yeah, Rashid Shaheed. Wonderful, wonderful speed guys. And I mean, you add that veteran piece, and that can push you over the edge and put you as a contender for sure. But my bias pick, come to the Jets, baby.
To be honest, I think he could, as far as opportunity and contract business wise, I think he can go to other places and potentially, secure that bag yet again in coming years in places like the New England Patriots and the Chargers. But I'm a JTS guy. I think his best situation is with a quarterback who has already a ton of experience, familiarity, and they got a little bromance going back and forth, like in the media and stuff like that. And so I think it's been time for them boys to reignite on the Jets. Garrett Wilson, the chemistry seems a little bit off between him and Aaron this year. And I think getting Devontae there, in my opinion, Devontae steps into that number one receiver role and allows Garrett not just to go against Garrett has been getting shadowed by number one corners, cover two and stuff like that for the Jets this year. That has thrown him off, son. Now he's facing either number two corners or nickelbacks. It allows him to work more in the intermediate levels of the field. And I think that'll open up a lot for his game, and it'll span both their games because they're two really good talents, elite talents, as far as Devontae and Garrett working together to open up that field. We've had some struggles with Breece Hall. I think that could get them going. That'll keep Braylon Allen going, and that'll get Aaron Rodgers and the Jets scoring more than 9 points in their last game because 9 points. But we got the draft capital too. We got the capital. We got everything we need. I feel like when the Raiders put out what they were willing to accept, that was a direct kind of like hand raised to the Jets. Like, hey, this is what it is. We can start negotiating because we're willing to give it that. We know y'all ain't got a first round pick, but we know, well, with Aaron, pray to the Most High stay healthy this year. The Jets probably not gonna have their first round pick, but we do got the capital. And look, we might, hey, if we can get them for Hassan Reddick and maybe a third rounder, all the better.
Hey man, nah, we need to pay both of them boys. If we don't win nothing anyway, everybody getting fired. So y'all might as well go and break the bank. Because there's no way y'all sign Devontae Adams and not pay Hassan Reddick. Like we need that extra push on defense. Obviously, our defense has been, you know what I'm saying, good to borderline great. I ain't gonna say we great yet this season, but we've been very good to borderline great, and that extra push will definitely help us. And then obviously Devontae Adams being pushed into that number one. I mean, come on, bro. Our leading receiver right now is Alan Lazard, and that is disgusting. I'm not a fan of it. I can't do it. It makes me sick when I know he is not, he can't hold a candle to Garrett Wilson.
They got to
Like
deal
I
with
know
that.
this.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
No, yeah, I was agreeing with you. I just think it got to do with the chemistry between him
Yes,
and Rodgers.
and that's gonna be just something, that chemistry. And I feel like with the cachet, if Devontae Adams were to come in, obviously this has already been known to Garrett Wilson is, that's one of his, you know what I'm saying, guys he's looked up to, learn how to do the route running from. I think he's even trained with him before. Will be able to listen to, hey, brother, this is how Aaron likes it. This is how, you know, you get in there. This is where you would want to be. This is what he's thinking in this, you know, and they get on that same fine tune. And, you know what I'm saying, with him being a lot younger, a little bit more, you know, giddy up to his step, you know what I'm saying, open up his game way, way more and a lot faster. And maybe possibly give Aaron a little tweak to, you know, want to come back next year and not retire at 40 and give it an old 41 go.
I just wanted to bring that up real quick. Getting back on our order of operations, great WNBA season this year. Playoffs are still going on right now. I was surprised to see the Aces lose with all their dominance lately, and especially, with my opinion, Asia Wilson hasn't the most dominant in WNBA season of all time. But those are veterans. We talking about some players that, okay, Caitlyn Clark was definitely in the playoffs, but we're talking about the young women here today, and the rookies in general. So, Byron, you picked Caitlyn Clark. Tell us a little bit about her season, how you felt about it.
Oh man, revolutionary, icon. I mean, what we want to start at? She had that 19-year-old LeBron effect on the WNBA. No, not even that. Let's say she had the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird effect on the WNBA, in raising its profits, viewers, and helping them elevate their game, and helping us see other great, wonderful WNBA players that we've never even known that were, you know, good. And now we see these other players like, you know what I'm saying, Asia Wilson, other good rookies like Aaliyah Edwards, you know, things like that. We didn't even know these ladies, you know, had these kind of skills. And due to, you know, the wonderful talent of Caitlyn Clark, putting them, you know, out there even more, winning Rookie of the Year. Um, she got 66 votes out of the 67, which is insane, almost unanimous. Angel Reese got the other one vote. 19 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds a game, 1.3 steals, just a dominant rookie career, multiple triple doubles throughout the seasons, pulling that thing from the parking lot. She's the female Steph Curry of the WNBA, and hey, like Brodrick said, she made the playoffs her rookie year, and we're looking forward to see this even more as she grows and comes back for her next season.
Yeah, definitely. What's crazy is this first year was an adjustment period for her, and she was putting up some pretty good numbers. So
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, because looking up some of the numbers, contract numbers, for these deals and stuff like that, I was shocked to see how the salary of the WNBA. Now, of course, when you see stuff like 81,000 to a person that's a normal guy, you know what I'm saying? That's like, oh, why, see you. But when you compare them to like other professional leagues and you seeing like annual 81,000, 89,000, I was taken aback. Like, just look at some of these numbers. And I know that with the new TV deal coming up and being negotiated, her and a couple other people we're going to talk about are going to be huge factors in raising the elevation and profile of the WNBA game. And I do feel like she's the leading catalyst to that. And I got to be honest, I don't think it's a negative, but obviously she's playing in Indiana. It's a lot of white folks. So she was a star at Iowa as well. And I think it's gonna do good to pull in that demographic of audience and stuff like that as well. Obviously, WNBA has been known for a long time around being a part of the proud group, but also for mainly being dominated by African American women. And so obviously it has had a certain fan base, but now being able to pull in more demographics is huge and important to marketing, even though they'll never come out and say that. We know. Caitlyn Clark, I think she should have been unanimous Rookie of the Year. Just watching her play, you got that feeling like when you watch Steph, like, nah, she incredible. Like she different. Like, and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I definitely think who won MVP, which is Asia Wilson, should have won it. But you know, I wouldn't push back if somebody was like, she's number 2. In all honesty, because leading that team to the playoffs in her first year, along with Kelsey Mitchell and Leah Boston, that was a huge accomplishment. Even though they got put up out of there, they was facing a veteran Suns team. Connecticut team. And I expect them to come back real strong next year. And I'm just excited to see what she's doing her sophomore year. Who you had, Chalil?
I had Rookies Jackson, forward, for the Los Angeles Sparks. Number 4 draft pick in the draft this upcoming this past year. Had a great first season. You know, she was kind of shadowed or put behind because of the likes of Caitlyn Clark and Angel Reese and all the great that they were doing for the league. She, like you said, she quietly had a great season, averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists for the Sparks. She was the second leading scorer on that team as a rookie. Made WNBA All-Rookie team. She was the 3rd leading scorer out of all the rookies. And she's definitely a bright spot for the Sparks as they rebuild to try to become contenders again. She's definitely a future superstar in this league. And I expect her sophomore season to be even better.
Well, all I'm about to say about Angel Reese, I know some watching this might be like, yeah, that boy glazing. It is what it is. I got to give respect where respect is due. I wasn't familiar with your game to this extent. So, Angel Reese, it's a bunch to say about her. She was coming into the league, was number 1 pick by the Chicago, number 7 pick by the Chicago Sky, but she was the reigning 2023 NCAA champion. She had the 2nd most rebounds in WNBA history with 446. And honestly, we all know if she hadn't got hurt and been shut down, she would have more than Asia Wilson, who had an incredible season. Asia Wilson, most points and most rebounds in WNBA history in one season. Insane. Angel Reese, she had the most offensive rebounds in WNBA history in a season with 172. She had the highest rebounds per game average in WNBA history with 13.12. She has the all-time record for consecutive double-doubles in WNBA history with 15. The first player in WNBA history with 3 consecutive games with 20-plus rebounds. She averaged 13.6 points and 13.12 rebounds, was a WNBA All-Star in her rookie year, and finished the All-Star game with 12 points and 11 rebounds. She was 2nd in Rookie of the Year voting and made first-team All-Rookie. And off the court, again, I already highlighted what she's doing for the media deal, but she also is turning to a huge figure in the fashion sense, with business deals with Reese's, Beats by Dre, Coach, and our most famous one being the face of Reebok basketball for women and arguably for Reebok basketball in general. Shaq just got promoted to president. Obviously, Shaq is an NBA basketball great, but he's also an LSU great. And as we know, Angel Reese is also an LSU great. So they have a great relationship. When Shaq got promoted to president, he decided to make her the face of Reebok women's basketball. They're coming out with some lines towards the end of this year, I think November and December. That's going to be huge for our brand, especially with the success that she just had with her partnership with Reese's, coming out with the Reese's Pieces collection. Y'all go check that out. I think arguably she's the most marketable star in the WNBA. I probably done said some wild stuff on a couple other podcasts with disagreements about that, but numbers are numbers, business is business, and people find her incredibly marketable and attractive. On the court, she's also awesome. So she's getting the best of all worlds, and she's living generally from the outside looking in a wonderful situation at this point. So it was good talking about and giving those women shine. And I wonder what our numbers are going to look like next year. Because if I had to talk about areas she would have to improve in, a lot of those offensive rebounds, there's a running joke, but there is some truth to it. It was off of mid shots.
Yeah, she got to get that low post shot. She got to get a hook or something.
Yeah, she most of her shots come within 10 feet, but her shooting percentage was 38.6%, I believe, off the top of my head. So if she can get that, into the 40s, a little higher and stuff like that, I think that 13.6 can increase closer to what Caitlyn averaged, up to 18. Now, I don't expect that type of leap in one season, but I think she can get close to around 15 points next year, maybe 16 points in a high case scenario, I should say. And I expect her to, in the coming years, to get close to like Caitlyn made all WNBA first team. I expect Angel to get to close to that level of player later on in her career in the next 3 to 4 years. I'm excited to watch her journey on and off the court for sure. 2 more segments to go. We have the NFL's Pretenders and Contenders. Who did y'all have for, and Byron, let's start off with you for a pretender. Let's start off with a pretender.
How about them Cowgirls? The Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys are the pretenders, man. I don't know what their identity is this year at all. We got who I think is they're one of the best players in Micah, just on this podcast going off about different things, in media going off about different things, but can't get a sack. And then you got the offense can't run the ball. CD coming in, a little late after just getting paid, but trying to get into the flow of things, but they can't run the ball. So what we gonna do? Just double CD, make it very difficult. So they can't move the ball as well. And they're I don't know, they're looking very, very tough. I mean, I thought they were looking good when they came out and beat the Browns. Now we don't even know what the Browns are. So I don't even know if we can validate that win for them. And then now they're just 2-2, just floating in limbo at 500, which is a lot of teams are 2-2 at this point, but they don't look like a good 2-2. The Ravens, they look like a good 2-2, but the Dallas Cowboys, they do not look like a good 2-2 team right now. And with Parsons being hurt and DeMarcus Lawrence being hurt and Postley might both be out for the next game. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna look like, man.
I might, get slandered for this, whatever you want to call it. Might not agree with me, but tender I got is the Buffalo Bills. I just don't think they got enough firepower to compete. They played the Cardinals, the Dolphins, the Jaguars, which I think Jaguars are winless. Dolphins have 1 win. Cardinals have 1 win. We see what happened when they played a 1-2 Ravens team. They played one of the elite teams in the league. Like I said, I don't think they have the firepower to hang. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. But when it gets down to the nitty gritty, we see what happens down in the trenches what's going to happen when they run into a team like the Chiefs. Like I said, another big test for them this week is going to be the Houston Texans. We'll see how they perform there, but as of right now, I think that the Bills are playing above what they were, what I would have expected from them.
For Pretenders, I wrote down 2 here. I had the Philadelphia Eagles. Haven't been that impressed with them. They're 3rd place in the NFC East this year. I think Jalen Hurts leads the NFL in turnovers. I think they have the players, which is the confusing thing. And I don't want to doubt a coach that's a Super Bowl champion, but I think it's kind of reckless over there on the defensive end, especially with how well Howie Roseman has drafted and put personnel on that team. He's actually my favorite GM in the NFL. I think he's the best as far as a value and contract perspective, how soon he's willing to get off guys or reward guys. And I just think they're doing less with the talent they have. They won against the Saints. That was a good win. But I think that would have been their only win on the season if Jordan Love didn't get hurt in that first game, in all honesty. Got trounced by the Buccaneers and the Broncos, who I'm going to talk about the Buccaneers later. The Broncos just beat my Jets, but we'll see what they are by the end of the season. At the end of the day,
65 yards.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I got the Eagles as one of my pretenders. Who you got as a contender, Byron?
Contender, man. I got the Houston Texans as a contender. Young quarterback in C.J. Stroud, obviously winning the Rookie of the Year last year. In these 4 games, I don't think they played a complete game yet, like that beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? Punch you in the mouth, show you from top to bottom, offense, defense, that we are that team, and they're still 3-1. I think once they actually get it all together, because like I said, a lot of guys haven't really played in the preseason, so they're getting their preseason basically now, getting their runs in now, and we're in week 5. So about to hit week 5. So it's starting to get your wheels turning. You're in shape now, and they're going to start really showing their dominance. And like Chalil said, it's going to be a real test to show it against the Bills and to really show that, hey, we're here to stay. We're not just that one last year season with C.J. Stroud, being a phenomenon. And we're actually, hey, man, we're the Houston Texans, and we're going to be a contender from, here on.
I know my guy Joe would like to hear that about the Texans, and I know he
Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Been taken off.
Yeah, he was doing his thing last year too.
Yeah.
What about you, Chalil? Who you got as a contender?
Even though they're 2-2, they're playing right now. I got the Falcons. Coming into the preview, I think I said NFC South might be the worst division this year to watch. 3 teams are playing out of their minds right now. They're playing good football: the Saints, the Bucks, and the Falcons. Big thing with the Falcons, they picked up a lot of pieces defensively. Everything's just clicking there. On offense, there were our doubts about Kirk Cousins and not knowing how he'd come out and play. I think he's proved a lot of us wrong with his type of play. This is the same Kirk Cousins that we were seeing all the years with the Vikings. Typical up there in passing yards, always, being able to thread that needle and take those chances. But you also got Darnell Mooney, who left the Bears, and he's over there playing out his mind. Drake London's finally emerging as that wide receiver one. Bijan Robinson's he's having all right start to the season. Once he gets fully going, that's even going to be more trouble for them. And Kyle Pitts is now starting to get more involved into that offense, which we weren't seeing in past years. So I definitely see these guys, fighting for a playoff spot, and they could be one of the dark horses in the playoffs if they were to make it to kind of knock some teams off. I didn't say win a Super Bowl. I said knock some teams off.
Yeah. I respect my boy Khalil's opinion. But hey, I don't know, man. I don't know. For sure. We said contenders. I had another NFC South team here, the Buccaneers, as contenders. I believe the Bucs are 3-1, looking like they about to be 4-1 against the Falcons. They only lost to, again, the suddenly scorching hot Broncos. So shout out the Broncos, man.
Shout out to Broncos, nothing. They cost me money 2 weeks in a row.
And I had to be wrong about the Eagles losing them because the Broncos are 2-2. I'll get that corrected. I digress. I'll be better. But the Buccaneers about to be 4-1, really putting on for the city, not having that catastrophic drop-off that we all expected with the retirement of the GOAT, Tom Brady. But who's doing well in the broadcast booth? He's doing well in the broadcast booth. But at the end of the day, Todd Bowles is a great coach. He's a former Jet coach. I think he did pretty well with the Jets too. But we gonna be who we are. The Jets gonna be who they be. Buccaneers lost a lot of veteran talent. They let a lot of them walk, but they've drafted really, really well. Especially we got a young corner out there. His name is evading me right now. If there's any Bucs fans watching this, get in the comments. Let me know his name. And your surprise picks for contenders and pretender this season. Before we move on for this segment, did y'all have any more contenders and pretenders?
I'll give one more pretender out there. The Seahawks. They started off the season with their easiest part of the season. They're 3-1 right now. First 3 games. Broncos, who are still trying to feel out Bo Nix at quarterback. The New England Patriots, we know what's going on over there. And a tool-less, quarterback-less Miami Dolphins offense, who's still struggling to get the ball even in the red zone. Played the Detroit Lions this week. Wound up losing. Obviously, that's what I thought was going to happen. Next game, they play the Giants. And then they start a little tough schedule as they play the 49ers. They play the Falcons on the road, play the Bills, and they play the Rams. So I'd like to see how they go through this stretch. But I'm just not seeing too much from them. I mean, they have pieces on offense. Have two top young cornerbacks on defense. But honestly, I just don't see that how they can keep the space.
What about you, Byron? Any more contenders or pretenders?
Who can I put out there? I won't say either a pretender or contender. I'm on the fence about them this year. The Lions. I'm not too sure what they're doing. Now that they're on everybody's radar these last 2 years, and I mean they won we're in the NFC championship game last year. I don't know if they're gonna make these right strides, or it's always down to the coaching and I don't think I like Dan Campbell. I love him as what I'm saying. I would take him over Salah. Come on over to the Jets any day. But
the Jets would too.
it's a lot of those those small calls and those small fine tune things that always mess up the Lions go to, and that's where they need to get those on point, man. Those little tiny things. It's always the little tiny things, and that's what they need to focus on this year for sure.
Yeah, they're looking pretty damn good this year, to be honest. I think they're 3-1. They're looking pretty damn good. I would put them firmly in the contender statuses now. I had one more for each of those, and I'll make it quick. For contender, I had the Baltimore Ravens. They finally understand getting Derrick Henry. The ball is very important. That's what you signed them for. And I like what they did this year. This last post week we just passed and dominating the Bills. I believe it was 47-10 or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was ass whooping.
Yeah. And look, I want Devontae Adams on the Jets, but look, I think he do great with Lamar as well, and I love to see that as a fellow Floridian. Obviously, all of us was raised in Florida. Pretender, I'm sorry I got to do it. Anybody from the city is watching, bear with me. We got the brown paper bags. I'm gonna be making those. The Jacksonville Jaguars 0-4 after owner Shad Khan said this is the best team we've assembled in history. From a coaching and player standpoint, we're 0-4. Trevor Lawrence's stats aren't they're pretty
You need to leave.
After
Mac Jones.
After giving my boy $275 million, he's at 53.3 completion percentage, which is insane. But it's not just Trevor Lawrence. The O-line can't block. The defensive line can't get any push. They actually getting thrown out the club on a routine basis.
Right. Not the club.
Receivers dropping the ball. It's crazy. I'm just having a bad year as a football fan, man. For a pretender, I can also put the Florida State Seminoles. I'm not going to go on a rant, but it's just my football life right now sucks, man. Besides the Jets, who just lost to the Broncos, man, it's tough sledding this year, man. It's tough sledding.
Saying it. I don't even want to hear it no more. We on to the next week.
Jets gonna right the ship. I hope they right the ship.
Yeah, I think they are, but I'm gonna remain a fan, man. This is the part about being a fan. As y'all know, if y'all watching us today, man, you got good times, you got bad times. Unfortunately, when you lose certain teams, you lose more than you win. but at the end of the day, it is what it is. For our final segment before we get out of here, we're gonna do 12 inning bets. Just giving y'all a little bit of our betting insight this year, particularly my man Chalil. What do you got for some NFL games, some good picks people can make to earn that bread?
So I know the Cowboys haven't been playing too good this year. Offense has yet to go on an offensive explosion. They go into the Pittsburgh Steelers as 2.5 point underdogs. I feel like this is a great spot. I expect it to be a very good game. Steelers offense isn't too good. Their defense does tend to make up for it. But just with Dak Prescott, I feel like the Cowboys finally start to show a little bit of breakthrough and they pull out the victory. So I take the Cowboys money line there. Then we go to the London game. Like you said, we got a team that's hotter than hot right now going up against a team that's just been inconsistent, just not knowing what we're going to get from the Jets come Sunday. So with that being said, Vikings are clicking on both sides of the ball. Easily one of the top higher contenders in the league. I'm going Vikings money line there. Commanders have been playing out of their mind offensively. I think it's like 3 or 4 punts in the past 2-3 weeks. They go up against the Browns team that their defense is pretty good, but their offense isn't. Their offense can't stay on the field, which I feel like is going to be their ultimate downfall, as their defense is going to be on the field a lot more than they need to be, which is going to lead to them, I think, coming towards the end of the game. Mental mistakes, kind of them breaking down, caving in. So I'm taking Commanders money line there. And then I said the Seahawks are pretenders, but they're going against my shitty Giants without Malik Nabers to that effect. So that's self-explanatory. I'm going Seahawks money line there.
So
I don't have much argument with any of those. I think those are all pretty solid. I wanted to highlight some college football games this year, specifically some in the top 25. You got Michigan State playing Oregon at home. I'm gonna go with. I think Oregon will be a good pick there to win that game. Michigan State. They're in year one with Jonathan Smith. I got to see more for them. I think Aiden Childs is tied for the league lead in interceptions, or the country lead in interceptions. So I like to see better from him. You got Syracuse, actually an underdog to UNLV. Syracuse has been playing really good this year. UNLV, of course, they had that recent controversy with their starting running back in there. He gets a lot of carries at running back, but their starting quarterback with the NIL situation. It's at UNLV in Las Vegas. Honestly, I would go with underdog Syracuse to come in there and get a dub, even though I like what I've seen from UNLV the last time out. Ranked UNLV at 25. Missouri, Texas A&M. Right now, they got Missouri going on the road as a road favorite at number 25, Texas A&M. I'm not mad at that at all. I think Missouri can go in there and get a dub. SMU at number 22, Louisville. I honestly think this is a toss-up game. SMU, they play consistent on offense. I like how they play. Of course, they dominated Florida State 42-16, but who ain't been doing that this year? Louisville looked pretty stout against Notre Dame. They lost there. That's a toss-up game right now. I think I would go with the home favorite in Louisville. And not to talk about every game, just the big games here. I'm going to go with two more games. You got Clemson on the road at Florida State. Obviously, Florida State is my team. DJ is out. Brock is in to start. Clemson has been looking dominant this year ever since their loss to UGA. And at the end of the day, Florida State has not looked well at all. It's in dope. I'm watching the game for two sole reasons, because I'm a fan and I'm gonna watch their games, but two, because I want to see what Brock Glenn does in his first start of the season. It sucks putting him in his position when he's hasn't played all year, and the last two times we've seen him was against Louisville and Georgia. Now he's going up against Clemson. Not giving, the young man a fair shake to be successful, but there's a lot of wrongs with the Noles this year, and unfortunately, this is another one of them, and I don't expect us to win this game. If you're trying to earn any amount of money, well, look, yeah, they got us as plus 500 underdogs at home. 14.5 underdogs at home. And the final game I'll talk about is Iowa at Ohio State. Obviously, Iowa, they play better on offense this year, but they always got that stout defense. But, man, Ohio State just got them guys, man. I think I might have picked Ohio State to win a national championship this year. Alabama is looking formidable. But as far as strictly that game, I would have to go Ohio State because it's at home, and I wouldn't be surprised if later on in the game they start to run away with it there. So that's what I have for third 12 in his bets as well. Did you have anything, Byron?
Nah, not on my end, dog.
Byron like keeping his money.
Donation.
Yeah.
Donation.
Ain't got too much to give out, so I might as well keep the crumbs I got.
Sure. But hey, this has been a good, solid podcast. Y'all let us know how y'all feel about the segments that we added and y'all thoughts on everything that we talked about in our topics and stuff like that, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Good to be back.
Yes, sir.